Hey guys, Dr. Zleek here again with some Trials Platinum guides. Today we're going over Dark City Run, which is one of the more difficult extreme tracks from the main game. Alright, so today we're going to be using the Phoenix. As always, you should know this by now if you watch any of their videos. Phoenix is almost a must-have for just any extreme track, really. Alright, so we're just going to start off with a pain in the ass one immediately. As you notice, this is red and black, which I'm sure will make you feel happy for some reason. Anyways, so we're going to lean back, and then as your back wheel gets up to this ramp, you want to lean forward. And then you'll immediately notice that the game is trying to cruise over with a landing that's about 3 inches wide. The key to this is just trying to land either flat, or I like to land it with my front wheel. Oops. I turn my front wheel around the middle, and then my back wheel kind of rolls into the center here. So let me see if I can show that to you. It's like so. And then normally I would just kind of gas off of that momentum into the next jump. But you can, I'd recommend not trying to land and then rebalance because it is very difficult. If you can, just kind of force yourself into the next obstacle, because once you get up to there, it is very simple. So again, this is the same sort of thing where you want to land on your back wheel pushing forward, and then up here to the next checkpoint, just push forward to check it off. This is one thing where you want your back wheel where the ramp begins, so you want to forward into it, and then as your front wheel is coming up, just want to push forward, get that front wheel up and over that, like so, and just kind of lean back and tip your gas. Alright, so there's a couple ways to do this big gap. You can start off from the very top and just try to launch into this jump. And you can either land like I just somewhat did, and then go to the next one. I'll show you the way I did it for a very long time, and I still think in my best time I even did it. Which is, if you see that little down arrow in front of our bike here, we can just hop down. You can either front flip and just brake, or you can just kind of gas into here. There's several ways to do it, but you have a pretty good distance. And then for me, I usually back up to where my tires, kind of where that shadow is, and then just bunny hop, not front flip, bunny hop into that ramp. So most time for this ramp, I'm gonna just I'll show you here. I'll just kind of want to hop onto this next section. If you can get that front tire up, that is the key to that. And so how you would do that is you would land kind of leaning forward, so that front tire would compress and give you a little hop, and then lean back. It's similar to doing it from a standstill, except for you're doing it at a higher speed, so you need to think a little bit quicker. Once you're here, you can just pin your back wheel. This is without me leaning any direction or holding gas or brake. You can just kind of bounce here. The key to landing this next jump without faulting is probably just getting, if you can see on that little downhill slope once we get over here, that will kind of bump you, that'll bump your back tire kind of into place. You can do that and just land. I'll restart here so I can try to show you what I'm talking about with that bumper, and I'll see if I can get there without faulting to kind of give you guys an idea of what it might look like. So like that, I just got lucky when my back tire caught. So again, it's like there's this ramp and there's that wooden plank, and then as you can sort of see, there's that little downhill part of the stairs. And if you just kind of edge yourself up and over this, that should bump your bike kind of onto that part. And it's just all about pivoting. If your back wheel's hanging off the edge, gas. If your front wheel's hanging off the front, brake, etc. Just kind of learning how to play it. And then from here, we'll just want to do a bunny hop, leaning forward to get that front wheel up and over as fast as you can. Alright, here, as you can see, that these cars will drive by each time. There's a cop car that'll drive by, so you can spend a lot of time doing up here. So I'm pretty sure all those cars are gone now. There's three usually. There's the criminal, and then there's the 2 cop cars. I'm sure if you wait up long enough, they'll come back around. But basically the point is, what you want to do is try to get up over this light pole like that, and then the cars will usually run you over. And again, I failed to mention a different way to do it. So that's the easiest way to do it, is to wait for the cars. If you want to try and time it to where you land between the cars coming up there, I'll try to show you that as well. But a way that I used to do it before I could make that jump very easily, and that also kind of let me avoid the traffic there. would be to kind of just down here, and so you can see that car go by. The second car. So as you can see, the faults don't reset the cars. So a way to do this also is to kind of get down here. Those are explosive barrels behind me. I don't want to back up too far because they'll explode. But you can see those. And then what you do is you just kind of go up here and you can kind of launch onto this next checkpoint. However, if you land down here, like doing that front flip off the pole like I showed you originally, the key to doing this is you'll land like maybe like this, and then there'll be the cop cars. The key is to backing up and then getting up this as fast as possible. Even if it's just up here for the time being, that'll generally make you unhittable by those cars. And they obviously ignored that stop sign, which is very bad of them. Anyways, so once you do that, you'll just kind of vault up here. You can land and just pivot right here, that's fine. And then from here, you'll just want to do a little bunny hop. You just kind of want to land with your front tire, almost like I am now, except for moving forward a little bit, and just tap the brakes to slow down. If you land back here, you'll blow up and die. There's not really, I mean, I'm sure you can kind of get out of it if you land it correctly, but basically if you land down there, you're kind of screwed. Yeah, like that. So the key is to kind of just land with that front tire about 2 barrels in, and that back tire, hopefully, the ideal is to catch on the lip so you can brake a little bit, but if you land there and just tap your brakes, you should be alright. Alright, for this next point, don't hit those barrels down here because those also make you explode. A lot of explosives, as you can see. But from there, we'll just want to hop onto this next section. You can do a rolling from these barrels if you land correctly, but these ways just to land on your back wheel leaning forward. Don't use too much gas, otherwise you will jump over this dumpster and into this gap, which is also explosive. This is a bad neighborhood because there's a lot of explosives everywhere. But once you do that, you will just do a kind of a leaning jump at that. And then we get to the most notorious jumps of them all. My personal favorite, easiest way to skip half of this is to back up all the way to this point, lean all the way back, feather into full throttle, bunny hop, and if you do it correctly, you should land with your back tire on that second ramp right there. So let's try that again, shall we? And see, it's just full throttle immediately, which will flip me. So if you just kind of push into it and then jump, you should be able to make it. If you can't do that, you can just kind of go for a controlled jump. You can lean forward, like for example, you can lean forward and immediately full throttle and then jump, and that's kind of a safer way to get it. Then you can hop up over here. What most people end up doing is kind of landing right around here. This is the whole land on your back tire pushing forward thing to the extreme. Because if you don't land it just perfectly, I don't know how many times I've bounced on this ramp or slid down. When I was originally trying to beat this, I was hitting the 500 fall mark. I would get here with maybe 40 or 50 faults and then fall 500 times on this part alone. So once you get balanced right here, you just want to keep feathering the gas. Try to get as low as possible without slipping off like I just did right there. And then what you're going to do is full throttle up to this next point, which that if you're down low enough, that front tire should come up from the gas and that back tire should kick on the lip of the second ramp there. And then you'll rinse and repeat for the top section. So basically just feather and then throttle, and then you want to lean back and then forward immediately and then not mess up like I just did. So even me just trying to tell you to do this is very difficult to do. I'd recommend doing my first method, which is just getting a very, very good starting jump and skipping the first one, because the second one seems much easier for some reason. So back, forward, and then you just want to gas, and as long as you get that front tire up and over, you should be pretty much solid. So, and then the key to this part, you can do this pretty quickly like this, but to do it, if you're stuck down here, is this method works pretty much 100% of the time. Line up with your front tire forward and front tire on that board, gas until your back tire is near where your front tire started and your front tire is near the iron plate, and then you'll lean back, and then as your back tire gets up and where you're more going into the air, you'll lean back forward. Basically what this does is it compresses your back tire enough to where it'll push forward, and also you'll get a lot of speed from it because it's pushing off of the wooden plate. So timing is key. Once you get that front tire up and over, you just kind of brake, and then you can just kind of pivot your front tire up and over that, like so. Alright, so there's two methods to this. You can either pin your bike up here and try to flip. I don't really like doing that, but basically what do that is lean forward until your bike is most of the way up this ramp, and then you'll lean back and then try to hit brakes. I don't like this very much because even if you don't wreck, a lot of times you'll end up doing this and that'll end up down there, and that's just a waste of a fault if you can't get back up there. My personal favorite doing this is line up near the bottom of this ramp, leaning forward, go power way up about half to 2/3, like around here, lean back to pull that front tire up and over, and then you'll want to gas and lean forward. And what that does is it just pushes your bike forward enough to where it'll get up over here. You may need to pivot on your front tire to be able to make this jump, so like so. Once you get your head over that checkpoint, you'll be fine. If you do need to pivot, lean forward until your bike begins to tip over, and then let go of your brake and lean back, and your front tire should slide forward letting your bike get up here. Alright, and from here, you'll want to lean forward, and then gas as you lean back to bring up your front tire there. And then as that back tire hits that vent, you'll want to lean forward again to kind of whip your bike up and over. And then you're going to want to immediately gas and do a bunny hop up and over that fence, and then sprint over the finish line. Alright, so let's take a look at that very confusing and infuriating track in slow motion. So my replay will be 985th place overall with a time of 54.59 seconds, and this is again platinum medal, so there'll be 0 faults. So let's take a look, shall we? Alright. So I just set this time recently. I originally had a very bad time because I just waited for those cars to go by, but I recently beat my time right now. I think it said was 55 seconds, and that was with 47 shaved off, so it's a very improved time, I should say. So you see me here kind of pivot that back tire on there, push forward, and as you can see my front tire went over the ledge there, so I went back. I accidentally go slow motion. So you'll see that's the first car there, and I managed just to avoid it altogether and just keep going off that. So I got very lucky with that. Normally I've never been able to do that, and I just ended up trying to time after the first car and then before the second car. So you'll see me get up here, and I'll kind of I push forward. What this does is it allows me to roll back, because rolling back on gravity and momentum is much faster than using a brake. This is where you'll see me get the good bunny hop. I'll lean forward into this ramp, kind of gain my balance here. I go down to get enough space. I do lose it, but I get it back in a moment. Get that back tire over that ledge. I almost wrecked there, but thankfully I don't. I'm very lucky to have gotten this time, to be honest. And then you'll see me just use my momentum there. You also see me note that I don't move forward, although I do here. It's just because if you have enough momentum, you don't need to worry about that initial forward. You'll see my back tire lands there. And so I don't lean forward necessarily, just because I can maneuver the bike a little bit better. But then you'll see me push over onto the finish line. So you may not see me following my exact advice. That's just not because it's different. Just I can achieve similar results without doing certain steps, and that just comes with practice and getting to know the game and bike. So if you're not quite there, don't sweat it. So I have flip catch there. And so this obviously isn't a superb time. It is fairly quick, but there, I mean, I could obviously shave off a good another 10-15 seconds if I really tried. It's just all about keeping momentum, and this jump, honestly, if you can nail this jump, you should be fine for this track. And like I said, this is the easy way to do it, is just to skip the first one, because that just adds an extra level of pain in the ass you don't necessarily need. And most of this, you have to remember also that all the checkpoints are made so they can be done without resetting between checkpoints, but they're also made to where they can be done resetting checkpoints. So let's keep that in mind when you're doing that. Alright, and as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you like these videos, if you want a specific track down a specific bike, I'll do a donkey bike on Extreme if you make me, but please don't ask me to do that. Anyways, until next time, I will talk to you guys later.